10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, guys, welcome to another night of What's Cooking in the South. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys look fantastic. I know you've. It's been a bye week, so I expect a lot of you guys are out doing whatever you do during bye week. But it's time to get back into football. It's time. We got a game this weekend, so it's time to wake back up and let's get going. Now, I know Peter Blake was not on last night, so some of you, I want to make clear that there's no truth at all to the rumor that Peter Blake has, that I kidnapped Peter Blake and keeping him in a trunk off to the side. Shut up! Stop it! Anyway, we're going to have a great show tonight. I'm excited about this. We've got a lot to cover in the NFC South. Harry Berg's going to be here. We've got some other guests coming. I'm pretty excited about that. I even hear the dude might come by, and the dude abides. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting able to spend a little bit of time with those two troublemakers. But I really want to get into this game this week. I've held off on talking about the Bucs and Vikings, and I think it's time to get into this game. I think it's time to get into the details and what you guys think is going to happen. What are your expectations for this week's game? Let's get talking. You can reach me. I'll put the phone number at the bottom. I will put the phone number at the bottom. There you go, 678-825-5263, 678. Talk to me. And I am here for your questions, comments, drink recipes. You know how it works. You're at the intersection of food and football. Here, what do you have to do to talk football? First of all, I need to know what you had for dinner, and I need to know, we're going to talk about whatever you had for dinner. You don't just get to say it and then we're done. No, we're probably going to talk about whatever you had for dinner. I'm going to put a link in the chat room where if you want to come on, you can just do it by audio, or you can do it through video if you've got the guts to come on camera. Darren, I see you out there. This is my nephew is here. My nephew's in the house. How you doing, Darren? Yeah, let's get cooking. I agree. My goal in life is to get Darren to be a Buccaneers fan. We'll see. Good luck. But I am, look, guys, this is going to be a big game this week. I am actually pretty uncomfortable with the way you guys, so many of you have gotten to be so cynical about this team. They're 7-5. They're going to the playoffs. They're doing the best that they have in 15 or so years. Quarterback with the best, with the absolute best stats ever for a Buccaneers quarterback. Yes, I said that. And you guys, it's amazing. When the Buccaneers win, you hear nothing. Like Peter likes to play crickets. You hear the cricket sound. And when the Buccaneers lose, what do you guys sound like? This is you guys. When the Buccaneers lose, you go nuts. Man, the phone lines light up. You know, if you look at the little number in the upper corner, it doesn't say 12 or 15 or 8 or 10. When the Buccaneers lose, what does it say? It's all of a sudden it's at 200. You know, I mean, it goes insane when the Buccaneers lose. When the Buccaneers win, you guys, you know, you have a lot less to say. What the heck? You're fans of this team. You are fans. Let's be fans. Let's root for this team. Come on. Come on. I know that you guys are I know you guys you guys care more about this team than you're showing, and I know that that's a fact. So I want to talk about, first of all, I know there's a game going on right now, but I want to talk about the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Bucks. I want to talk about all of them. I want to talk about what direction they're all heading in. I'm not going to go long term on this because, at the end of the season, we've got all off season to talk about this stuff. And I promise you that's plenty of time to be talking about next year. So we don't really need to spend a whole lot of time talking about next year. We got a freaking game this week. So, I mean, they're playing the Vikings. Now, I've heard from a couple of people, not one of you, but multiple people. Oh, the Vikings have looked really good over the last few weeks. The Vikings have played the Cowboys and the Jaguars. And I mean, they're playing teams that you're bound to look good against when you play them. They're not playing top quality competition. The Eagles, all right. Yeah, they're going to look pretty good against teams like that. I mean, let's be honest, those are the worst teams in the league. All right. So, and the Vikings are not the worst team in the league. I would probably say they're middle of the pack, right about there. If they're lucky, middle of the pack. But I want to know what you guys think is coming this weekend. What do you think? What do you guys think? What are the keys to the game? What are the things that are going to matter? What is it that's going to make the difference between a win and a loss? I know everybody's down. Everybody's frustrated. I get it. I'm going to give you my keys to the game. I'm going to talk to you about that. But first, what I want to talk about is not so much just the keys to victory, but I want to talk about the team in general and things that are going on. Things like, I don't know if you saw, Chris Godwin got the pins taken out of his thumb. So he had that procedure, I believe, today. He's feeling better. Jamel Dean is out of the concussion protocol, so he'll be able to play. So everybody is getting healthy. The bye week came at a good time. This team's playing 4 teams in a row now. The Buccaneers are playing 4 teams in a row that are not as good as what they've been up against recently. This is the easier part of the schedule. So I think they're going to be able to string some wins together here. This is the toughest week they have remaining. I believe this is the toughest week that they have remaining. Now, when we get Harry coming in here shortly, Harry the Greek, he'll be able to break down this game. He'll be able to get into some of the details of this game, and we'll get the what's what about this game from Harry the Greek's perspective. And you guys know that's one sharp dude. So I'm looking forward to hearing from him here shortly, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. 678-825-5263. Now, I also want to talk about the Falcons. And my thought about the Falcons, since they're coming up, I'm not going to get into too much detail because they are coming up after this week. We play the Falcons. Okay, we got the Vikings this week, then the Falcons, then we play the Detroit Lions, and then we play the Falcons again. So you've got the Falcons 2 out of the remaining 4 weeks. All right, so in 2 weeks, this team will be in Atlanta. They've got to survive the Vikings in the meantime. Now, they haven't been on the road in a while. They've been able to stay home. Now, we still haven't heard, and this is encouraging, guys. Every stinking team that comes off the bye week, look at the Panthers, every team that comes off the bye week seems to be struggling with COVID-19 positive tests. We haven't heard a peep out of the Buccaneers. We haven't heard about players testing positive. We're not hearing anything. So the situation seems to be, I don't know what it is with this team. Now, Tom Brady, what I like about this, Tom Brady basically, the word on the street is that he has told the team, nobody's a rookie anymore. We're far enough into this season. Nobody has the fact that they're a rookie as an excuse. Nobody has the fact that we haven't played together long. That's not an excuse anymore. This is from Tom Brady. This is not just from me. Brady said, it's time, folks. This is it. This is make or break time for this team. It's time to kick it into gear. Now, that's the greatest quarterback of all time, being a leader. Now what we have to find out, it's interesting. What I find interesting is in any organization, any group of people, anywhere, it's fine if you have a great leader, but it's important to have followers. It's important. Everybody wants to have all leaders. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You have to have followers. All right. If you've got a team full of leaders who are all trying to pull in different directions, and we've seen that, things go haywire. Remember the Lovie Smith days. Okay, things went bad because everybody's pulling in different directions. Now, what you have is you have one very clear-cut leader. Nobody can question Tom Brady's credentials. Nobody can question who has the best credentials of any football player in the league now or ever. Nobody can say somebody else has better credentials than Tom Brady. So what you're sitting on is a person who's come in and is now trying to step in and be that leader. And I'm so impressed by the stuff that he said about, okay, guys, you're not rookies anymore. None of you are rookies anymore. None of you are first-year players with the Buccaneers. This is all time. Now it's time. Now we're all Buccaneers. We're all accountable. No more excuses. No more anything. It's time. And haven't you been kind of waiting for that from Brady? I mean, I don't know about you. I've kind of been waiting for that. It's kind of the Brady I've been wanting to hear from for a while. So I'm excited about that. I really am. I mean, I think this is what this team has lacked. And I think as Brady got his feet on the ground here, got himself comfortable, as he became more of an entrenched part of this organization, I think now he's at a point. I mean, the fact that he's willing to talk to the other players like that, and the fact that he's doing that, to me, expresses a comfort level and expresses, look, everybody, a week ago, we were all hearing rumors about strife within the organization, and there's problems, there's this, there's that. We were all hearing about this not so long ago. There were, oh no, there's problems between Bruce and Brady. From everything I know and from people in the organization and things that I've heard, that's all a load of crap. That there's not really problems between those two. That, yeah, they're still learning each other. They're still figuring each other out. They're still working their way through some things. But sorry, guys, that's not that's normal on a guy. He just left a team he's been with. Think about this. You work for a job for 20 years. I don't care what you do. You're a plumber. You've worked for one company for 20 years. Everything about how that company works and everything you've gotten to be really good at. Now you go to work for an entirely different company. Now you think, okay, plumbing is plumbing, right? Football is football, right? Well, all of a sudden, this new company that you're with, well, maybe the way that they dispatch employees and communicate with employees, maybe all of that is different. All of a sudden, you, the plumber, now you're having to receive messages by phone. You're doing tracking by phone. You're doing all this new stuff that you didn't have to do at your old job. You've got to learn all that. You've got to learn how to do all of this new stuff. Look, I'm now in a new job. I'm working in a new job. I've moved to a new city. This is the best parallel I can come up with, guys. I've moved to Charlotte. All right. I don't know anybody here. This is all brand new to me. I'm working in an industry I've never worked in, and I've got to learn the entire industry. I've got to do all of this on the fly while I'm being held accountable. Well, that's kind of what's happening to Tom Brady. He's going from the AFC to the NFC. He's not familiar with these players. He's not familiar with these coaches. He's not familiar with this system and the verbiage that they're using. He's not, you know what? He probably is not even familiar with the equipment. Things as simple as this, the equipment that they are using maybe to communicate between players. I mean, on top of it, COVID-19. Now these players are having to basically wear ankle bracelets because it's like they're under house arrest or something, because it's tracking their every move, so you know about exposure and all of that. So this is all of this is being thrown at this guy at one time. He had a lot to take on. Set that aside. It's ball game time. None of that matters anymore. He knows it. It's time to produce, or if they don't produce now, there's going to be problems. So I want to hear from you guys, because right now, guys, you guys are going to be quiet, and I know it because nothing's blowing up. There's no problems. There's nothing for you guys to complain about. There's nothing for you guys to freak out about. That's very different. You guys are used to jumping all over it when it's time to freak out. You guys are all over it. Now, everything's okay. Right now, we've had the bye week. People are getting healthy. Brady's saying and doing the right thing. So you guys, it's like crickets out there. It's all quiet and peaceful. Everything's quiet because things are going good. You don't want to say anything. I get it. You're Bucs fans. We've been through a ton, guys. As Buccaneers fans, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the worst professional sports team in North America since they have come into existence. If you take the winning percentage since the Buccaneers became a team in 1976, they are the worst professional franchise. That's any sport. That's not just football. That's any sport. Okay. Now you want to know what it's like to deal with, you want to know what it's like to deal with a franchise that sucks? Well, let me bring somebody in here who can talk about it, who can join us, and who can commiserate. We can commiserate with. Jacob, Cover Zero Charno. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I want to talk to you about a little bit about what I've talked about. I don't know if you've heard what Brady has said this week or not. He's talked about how nobody's a rookie anymore.
Okay.
The first-year player. That it's time to perform. And there's no excuses, no more anything. It's time. This is it. And, you don't hear him complaining about coaching. You don't hear him complaining about any of the other stuff that everybody talks about. You hear him ready to go.
Yeah. So, I sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
Yeah. I love what Tom Brady's doing. I don't know if that's a popular opinion among Bucs fans, but I love the fact that he's like, all right, we're 13 weeks into a season, 12 weeks into a season. Take responsibility. I don't care if you're a rookie or a veteran.
Yep.
I don't care if you're Antoine Winfield or Ndamukong Suh. Take responsibility for what you do on and off the field. And I love that Tom Brady's being a leader, and it's kind of a no-nonsense approach in a better way than Bruce Arians does it, I think. And everyone wants to impress the GOAT, and you feel a sense of self-responsibility when you're playing with Tom Brady versus when you're playing with other quarterbacks. Like, I can promise you that Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy don't feel the same responsibility taking throws from Drew Lock that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin do taking throws from Tom Brady. That's a reality. So I love that Tom Brady's doing that. And I think that's the only way to get this team motivated enough to take them to the next level and hopefully to the Super Bowl, which everyone's kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you just said. By the way, Christopher Cole in the chat room just said
he did. I saw that, Chris. I appreciate
it. Show tonight, so that's pretty cool. Now we're gonna bring in someone else here. We're gonna bring in an expert here that you guys are familiar with, Harry the Greek. How you doing, Harry?
What's up, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. Jacob, Rick, how are you guys in this fine Tuesday evening?
Doing great. First of all, Jacob.
Yes.
What'd you have for dinner?
Ooh, okay. This is this was a little bit of a interesting situation tonight. So usually I don't eat before my show. I usually eat lunch and I don't eat before my show. But tonight I was really hungry, so I grabbed some Chipotle because it's convenient. And then after, my dad had gotten a bunch of food from a nice sports bar, so I had some wings and stuff after my show. some sliders, just a nice little dinner. But yeah, Rick, what'd you have?
What did I have?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not overly exciting, but it works. I had chicken pot pie,
Mhm.
but I also had some of the beefy cheese roll that I shared on
Ooh.
here a while ago. So I spread it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a little. I sort of had two. I had chicken pot pie from KFC earlier, and have you guys ever had that? Their
I have
chicken pot
not.
pie at KFC.
I'm not.
It's actually pretty darn good.
Oh
It
yeah.
is really good.
Yeah,
I lived off KFC when I got my wisdom teeth out. I lived on the KFC
Yeah.
mashed potatoes.
yeah,
And those are something different. Wow, those are great.
yeah. Harry, what'd you have for dinner?
I'm not sure you'll understand what it is.
Oh boy.
I ate domadas with avgolemino over the top.
Oh yeah, I hate
had
it when that
some-
happens.
And I had some spanakopita, and we finished it off with some baklava.
Is this thing breaking up or something? I'm not sure what just happened.
I know what the second one you said was. It's the little spinach pies. Those are delicious. I love those.
Correct. Yes, they are. I make
Okay.
those.
I know what
actually
baklava
fresh.
is.
Domadas are it's a Greek version to a stuffed cabbage, except they use a grapevine leaf, and there's a lot of dill in it. And the inside of it, it's not hard like a meatball. It's very fluffy, fragrant. It has ground beef and rice and dill and parsley, and believe it or not, a little bit of mint. And over the top, if you've ever had the, how do I say it in English? You know, the chicken orzo soup you get in
Yeah.
the restaurants in the Greek style. Well, they call it avgolemino soup, but without the chicken and the orzo, the lemony cream sauce goes over the top of it. It is absolutely spot on delicious with a little bit of feta cheese. I mean, I had to go all full out Greek today.
Yeah, Harry, I will say that every single Greek restaurant I go to, you guys
Mhm.
do it well. You guys do it well. I love
That's
Greek.
that whole part of the world there knows food.
Oh yeah.
You know, Jacob, that's a very interesting thing you brought up. If you don't mind me asking, what part of the country you live in?
I'm in New Jersey, so I know it's not like
Well, did you know that over 2/3 of the diners in Jersey are owned by Greeks?
really. I have a friend that's Greek.
Yep.
I have a friend Nick that's like his whole family lives in Greece, and I go to his house for dinner. I've been to his house for dinner like twice, and it's just been, that's good food. That's good.
Oh,
That's
it
good
is.
food.
And I have a passion for cooking, and I absolutely love to cook. My
Yeah.
mother taught me very well that way, and I just started experimenting with different spices and things of that nature and watching her cook. I'm still very blessed to have my mom around. She's 86
that's
and
awesome.
kicking. She's doing really well.
Enjoy
And
every
she
bit
just-
of that, Harry.
I believe me when I tell you, I do. And she comes over even when I'm dead ass tired after coming home from work, and she's like, "What are we gonna cook tonight, honey?"
That's how it works for me at my house. My dad comes home from work. He's like, "What's for dinner?" And my mom's like, "Jacob, you pick." And I'm like, I would love to just make you Kraft mac and cheese in the microwave right now, but he's like, I just worked like 8 hours and you're gonna make me eat Kraft mac and cheese. He's like, and then I feel bad, so I make him like a whole nice chicken dinner and vegetables and potatoes, and it's always, and he appreciates it though.
Well, I got a great chicken recipe for you in the oven. I was actually sharing it with Rick, and if you DM me, it's
Yeah.
kind of long, but it's really simple to make, and your parents are going to be like, "Where'd this cake come from?"
Absolutely. I'll check it
So-
out for sure.
And now I got a question for you guys. Very important question. Harry, I'm going to start with you.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is a big week for the Buccaneers.
Oh, yes.
Big game for the Buccaneers. Playing the Vikings, and it's put up or shut up time. Harry, Jacob, and I were just talking about it. I don't know if you heard what Tom Brady has said.
He made a
Tom Brady-
mention, I believe, something about being a rookies. There's no more
Yeah.
rookies. You know, there's
Yeah,
no more
there's no more
excuses.
rookies, no more excuses, no more. Right, it's time.
I
Right,
agree with that.
put on your big boy shoes. Okay, so he's taking he's being a leader. Tell me what you see coming for this game.
Well, Tom Brady's the ultimate leader. Okay, I mean, you can love to hate him, you can hate to love him. You know, it just depends. I mean, I've always admired the guy. Well, I'm kind of lying. I never really did like Tom Brady when he was in New England for all those years, but the longer he went throughout his career, you have to give that man respect.
I didn't like
know.
him. I didn't like him but I respected him.
That's the only way you can really put it. It's
Right.
oh my god, me in the division. I couldn't stand the man, but
Yeah.
you respect that he's doing what he's doing over there.
Yep.
I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention. I had to see that play. It's the end of the half. I covered the 6. Thank you, Lord, because that really kind of scared me. I had Baltimore minus
I don't
6
even know
in
what the
that.
score is right now, Harry.
All I know is they're winning by more than 6 at halftime. Hooray
Who?
for Harry. That was
Who?
a really big pick.
Who is winning?
Baltimore.
Okay, I can't see the TV, brother. I gotta hear. You got to give
I'll
me
give
the
you
info.
periodic updates, but getting back to that Tampa game versus Minnesota,
Yeah.
I know the NFC North very well, and I've really had a lot of time this year, especially being part of Buck Report, to really, dive in, to really pay a lot of attention to this team. I still stand by what I said. Talent-wise, this team is the most talented team in football on both sides of the ball. It's the fourth quarter of the season. This is the time to put up or shut up. And I don't think that's just for the players. I think that's for the coaching as well. And everybody needs kind of a checkup from the neck up. Having that bye week, I think they're going to right this ship. Minnesota could be a formidable opponent. Not this game. Seriously. After breaking down this tape, they have Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver. The young man's an incredible wide receiver, but they should lock him down very well. But Justin Jefferson doesn't really get off and catch a lot of passes until they set it up with the run. There's very few times that you're going to see him double covered and catching passes. Occasionally it happens because he's got really tall length and he can snatch the ball out of the air. So other than desperations, that's the only time I'd worry about Jefferson.
What's the
As far
line?
as that, the line right now is 6.5. That line started at 5.5, went to 6. It's going to 6.5. By the end of the week, I suspect this line's going to be more like 8, 8.5. So
Really?
if someone's going to get on that game, absolutely. They need to jump on it now because
Right.
I have Tampa covering this game big. And I'm not saying that because I'm part of Buck Report. I'm just telling you from what I'm seeing. Offensively, this is a very, very similar team to the LA Rams. But don't get me confused. The play calling is very similar. Everything goes through the run game with this team.
Right.
And, the type of zone scheme that Tampa plays, if they stop the run with the 4-man rush, keeping a fifth inside the box, it's going to force Adam Thielen and John. Jacob, help me out here. I'm 54.
On
Justin Jefferson. Sorry,
Justin Jefferson.
It'll force them to play everything up underneath. But then again, Minnesota's quarterback has a real tendency of taking a lot of chances and
Being
throwing in the
terrible.
double and triple coverage.
You like
And I'm
that?
not trying to be indicting, but that could be a horror show.
You remember you like that game? That was against the Bucks.
That was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one's against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
yeah.
But-
This is a different team.
Or it's more like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
yeah.
because you don't know what you're getting out of this team on a week.
Well, that's true. Defensively, you do, and this is what I want to say. And I've disagreed with so many people, which probably means that I'm wrong. Okay, but well, hold on. Here's probably one more person to disagree with me. Matt Colson, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Let me say something here real quick, Matt. I am tired of people questioning this defense. I'm tired of people saying that this defense is struggling. I don't believe they are. Okay,
I'm
I
not
may be the
questioning the
only
defense.
person. I may be on an island. Okay, but they are stopping.
Yeah,
They are stopping the run every freaking game for over a year now. And what happens? Okay, when the team falls behind 17-0 because immediately the offense is just going into a shell and does absolutely nothing at the beginning of games. I mean, immediately 3 and outs the whole first quarter. Doesn't get a first down, doesn't move the ball at all. Gives up the ball. As Blake would say, as Blake Anthony would say here, gives up the cheeks when the team's giving up the cheeks, because I mean what's happening is they're making it easy, short fields and things like that for the other team to score and to take a big lead and then change everything.
Rick, can you go back to the defense real quick?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about is when the offense doesn't give up the ball like that, the defense
That's anything.
looks entirely different. So go ahead, Harry.
Rick, I know the team is ranked number 1
What you were
against the
saying
run.
sounded like you were talking about Winston.
Oh, hold on.
That's
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
lived with last year for every game.
Hold on, Harry.
That is-
Harry, I'm having a problem with the communication here where he's not able to hear when you're talking. So,
Okay, that's fine.
okay. Go
I
ahead,
can
Matt.
be patient.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was just saying, it sounds like you're talking about Winston as the quarterback because that's what we had last year and the year before that and the year before that. You'd spot the teams 17 to 22 points.
But it's not
and then
all
you wake
him
up and
now.
go, "Oh, crap,
Right, but
now
it's
we gotta-
not
we gotta do
Brady.
something."
It's not Brady doing it. It's not Brady throwing pick sixes at the beginning of
Well,
the game.
Brady's not, Rick, Brady's not doing the 3 and out that's causing the problem.
Well, he's a part of it. Last
Last
year wasn't
week
3 and
we had-
outs though, Matt. Last year wasn't 3 and outs. Last year was pick sixes. Last year was a whole different animal. Last year there were pick sixes, fumbles by
I realize that,
Winston.
and
There
I
was a
agree
lot
with you.
more.
I agree with you about the defense. When we have a lead and the defense is on the field, they do what the old Bucks used to do, and they try to keep it around 17 points.
Yeah.
If we can have less than 17 points on the other side, we win games.
Yeah.
But when you and you hit it when you go 3 and out or whatever interception, whatever. And they're 30 or 40 yards of field is all they have to work with. I don't think that's productive. Doesn't matter who you are. You're still hurting the purple people ears. It isn't going to matter. If
Right.
you keep putting yourself in short field, you got problems. Vita Vea hasn't been in the game since the second week? And the running defense is
Right. I agree.
When we're constantly working from behind, then the situation changes. The dynamic of how the defense plays changes, and the offense can't run the ball anymore to eat clock. They got to throw passes when they're getting down by so much. It's so many things that come together in complementary football that when it's working for us,
Right.
we're the best thing out there. But when it's not working for us, usually these offensive stalls that we've been having for the last month, that puts us in a bad light. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's Todd Bowles over there or if it's Vince Lombardi or any of the other people that you might put in high regard.
Yeah,
That
I
coach
agree.
isn't going to be able to make that team work
Yeah, I agree, Matt.
that long.
I agree. I agree. You know what I'm gonna do, Matt? I'm gonna hang up so you can hear the other guys on the computer or wherever you're listening.
Okay.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Harry. Have at it.
I got to say that Matt Colson does bring up, good points. Listen, I was having a conversation very similar that I'm going to have with you two, with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, and he also agreed with your opinion, Rick. But this is why, and I don't like to use the word wrong. I just want you to hear it from a different perspective. Teams are coming in not game planning on running the football against the Buccaneers, i.e., the LA Rams. There's been multiple teams that the amount of attempts that are going against this, Tampa's defense to rush the football have been down significantly. And I'm not saying that defensively to stop the run that this team is bad. I'm not saying that at all. But they are going to get tested this weekend, and I believe that they're going to gear up to stop the running game. But that's a very skewed, very, very skewed ranking for this team defensively to say that they're number one ranked team against, a number one ranked team against the run. Let them play teams that run and pound the rock 24/7, and you're going to see how exposed the defense can be.
But they've
But
done
that's not
that,
a bad.
Harry.
Hold on. But it's not a bad thing because teams are coming in here expecting that they have to put points up on the board and they have to throw the ball in the air, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Harry,
Jacob, I want your take on it because I already know
well,
what Rick
hold on,
said.
Harry. Hold on. They've done that though. They've played over the last year. They have played every single top running back in the league. Every single top running back in the league, and they're number one against the run. So when you say, well, they got to play somebody who pounds the rock, well, who the heck are you thinking?
Okay, how about the LA Rams? How many times did they run the football? How many times did the New Orleans Saints run the football in that game? It's not normal. They pass.
But Harry, they didn't run well against the Buccaneers.
They didn't try. They got into a passing game because the defense is sitting there in a 2-deep zone and they're playing a 3-deep zone half the game.
So
you're giving up that much of the field.
So your argument is we need to worry about the run because teams are afraid to run against them?
No. It's because they're giving them that short to intermediate pass. They're keeping everything in front of them. Trust me when I tell you this. Minnesota is not going to be able to run the ball on this team. Everybody's misunderstanding what I'm saying here. I'm just saying don't get too enamored with being ranked number one against the run when, in fact, they really haven't been challenged this year as they have in years past. Okay?
All right, Jacob.
Because they're getting into these shootouts.
Go ahead,
All
Jacob.
Right. So my whole take on this game is if Dalvin Cook rushes, it's not going to happen, but if Dalvin Cook rushes for 130 yards on you, you can still win this game, right? Dalvin Cook could run
How many yards?
140 yards and 2 touchdowns. You'll still win this football game. You stop. It's going to come down to your linebackers and it's going to come down to the secondary. You cannot give up the deep ball to Justin Jefferson. It is imperative that you do not do that because that is where this team will beat you. Adam Thielen, he's going to do whatever. I think you guys will lock up Adam Thielen. I'm more worried about Justin Jefferson in this game because I'm not really sure you guys have been against the deep ball this year. I haven't watched like all the film or everything, but it's big that you stop there. And the Vikings defense is so awful that you guys just need to put up points to win this game. Stop worrying so much about Dalvin Cook because he can realistically forget Derrick Henry. The only other running back I think that could change the course of a game is Alvin Kamara. I think that, and maybe Christian McCaffrey, depending on where he's at, depending on how this offense is being run. Derrick Henry.
Tampa has a soft spot on offenses that run wheel routes. They've had soft spots against that defense for the last 3 years, and it's no different this year than it is last year. I've watched them get burned more times with wheel routes.
They've had a soft spot against a wheel route for like 15 years. I don't understand it. You're correct.
Yeah, but
okay.
You guys,
on the other side of the football, on Minnesota's defense, Tampa will have no problem doing anything. Tom Brady could rush for 50 yards in this game. Tom Brady's going
to throw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. I'm letting you know that because they're going to be throwing the ball over them. Bruce Arians knows. I know. I'm hoping Bruce Arians knows that you can throw all over this Vikings defense. Look what Mike Glennon did to this Vikings team. Tom Brady's going to have a field day with them. With all these receivers. All of them could have big days. Mike Evans could have a touchdown. Chris Godwin could have a touchdown if he plays. Antonio Brown could have a touchdown. I've
got Tom Brady getting 3 TDs, about 275 to 300. I got the running backs getting a pair of touchdowns. I got 35 points minimum in this game for the Buccaneers.
Minimum.
And I have 17 or less for Minnesota in this game.
Yeah,
I don't know how this team scores.
Right.
And I don't believe that he's going to go for $130 for Dalvin Cook. I honestly see Dalvin Cook running anywhere between 50 to 70 yards, and he's going to get 25 touches in this game.
I would love for somebody to look this up. Who is the last running back to run for 100 yards against the Buccaneers?
Well, I mean, last year,
no, it didn't happen this year.
Last year, you guys were number 1 too, right? Because I know the Jets were number 2. I know the Jets were number 2.
How many did David Montgomery get this year against them?
No. One team, I believe the Saints one time had over 100 yards, but it was combined everybody rushing. The team was over 100 yards rushing.
Wow, that's a really good stat. On how many attempts? That's the problem.
Well, I believe...
Listen, I'm not taking... Again, you're taking as if I'm saying that this Tampa team has holes in its defense regarding that. I didn't say that.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Harry. What I'm saying is what I hear constantly is, okay, you have the number 1 rush defense. Yeah, but... And this is the exact thing that I've been saying about like Bucs fans. To me, it's like, well, you want them to do better than first? I mean, what? Okay, yeah, you can say, okay, this team needs to work on wheel routes. this team needs to work on this. This team needs to work on that. There are things that they need to work on. But holy crap, they're great against the run. That's good.
Rick, they have the personnel to be a great defense. They're not a great defense. They're a good defense. They're a really good defense. Okay, we're not talking about the 85 Bears or the early 2000 Buccaneers or, for that fact, the Baltimore Ravens. Those were true number one run stop defenses. Okay, and they didn't have any holes by stopping the wheel routes. They have the personnel to stop what I was talking about. It's the scheme that they play. That's the only thing I was saying. They have to watch out for the wheel route. They have to watch out for the underneath passes. I don't see them going deep on the Bucs in this game because that's the way Todd Bowles plays. He doesn't play a press. He doesn't play man. He plays a lot of zone.
Cover zero.
If it cover 2 and cover 3. So if they stop the run, I mean, they're gonna hand the ball to the Buccaneers defense at least 2-3 times in this game. And I'm saying that to be minimum. And I don't ever give predictions like that. But this is such a lopsided game, it's not even funny.
Right.
I just pray to God that the Buccaneers are coming in with a full head of steam and are not overlooking this team. Because they should just steamroll them.
And this is Harry, I guess, and listen to listen to what I'm trying to say. All right. Like Tim here says, it's okay to be happy about being number one against the run.
Absolutely.
Okay. And this is kind of what I'm trying to say is it's not, let's find ways to discount the fact that this team for more than a year has not allowed anybody to rush for 100 yards. Okay. Let's not say, well, I mean, and this is what Peter and I talk about all the time, that this is what you have to deal with Buccaneers fans. Instead of they've played Derrick Henry, they've played, I lost his name, running back last year for the Rams. Atlanta.
Todd Gurley.
He plays for Atlanta.
Yeah, Todd
Gurley.
Okay. That, I mean, they've every major running back in this league they've come up against. And then it's like, yeah, well, teams aren't running against them.
They're not running against them like other teams do. They have to be prepared. Tampa has an offense. Do you understand? Tampa has an offense that can put points on the board.
But Harry, I get your point. Okay. But what I'm saying is, it's not that I'm not saying teams are not running against the Bucs because their run defense is so freaking good and there's a different weakness for them to pick at. Yes. Okay. I'm not disputing any of that.
Right.
Okay. But this is the guy who, when you win a game by 3 points, and then people are like, yeah, well, other teams are beating them by 7. Well, we just won the freaking game. Okay,
so a W
you're
is a
stopping
W.
the run, and you have a number one run defense, and you've stopped Derrick Henry, and you've stopped Todd Gurley, and you've stopped. I can't even think of all of them right now. My head's when Alvin Kamara hasn't rushed for 100 yards 4 games against the Saints.
I don't think has Alvin Kamara rushed over 100 yards this season yet.
I don't know.
I think twice. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look.
Don't know the
Don't
answer.
quote me on that.
I have a question here that comes in multiple parts because this is not me like trying to make a point. This is a legitimate question.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I get that. Okay, I get that your linebackers are fantastic against the run. Are you guys good against the pass? Are these linebackers good against the pass? Because from watching these games, it feels like both Levante David and Devin White are not great on these over the middle passes.
Well, and this is where I think Harry, correct me if I'm wrong. This is where the weakness lies. When you're playing bend but don't break, you're allowing the underneath pass way too much.
Okay.
I think Jacob's alluding to something else, though, Rick. But you are correct. Jacob is alluding to the fact: are they fast enough to cover the line, cover wide receivers? Yes and no. And I know I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth. I want you to just give me 2 linebackers right now that can cover. Say Alvin Kamara, or for that fact, Stephon Diggs, or some of your short slot receivers.
Well, speed wise, I would challenge you to find 2 faster linebackers.
Right.
But was that what you were kind of referring to? Yes, but the answer is yes. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebackers are some of the fastest linebackers in football, and they're real thumpers. And a lot of people have a problem with Tampa's defense because they have a tendency of over pursuing. There's an old cliche. You might over pursue and you might lose a couple of tackles, but I promise you, when he comes in and hits you, you're going to think twice before you want to throw the ball from being behind the line of scrimmage or another wide receiver coming across the middle. The reason why Tampa has been struggling a little bit with the underneath passes is because the safeties are 15 yards deep, and they're running little hook patterns 8 and 10 yards downfield, and they're not getting to the ball quick enough at the safeties. The linebacker's just supposed to push them into a certain position so that someone from behind them can go ahead and cover them. In theory, I played the sport for 4 years in high school, and studying a lot of game film. That's not my biggest issue with them. I just wish they wouldn't play as much zone as they do. Because if they did challenge them a little bit more, and I don't know why Tampa's so afraid of this, about getting beat with a deep ball, all they got to do is knock their wide receivers down a little bit, and you'll see a lot less that up the middle of the field.
Johnny, I wish the professor was out there. I'd love to hear from him on this. This subject.
Here's what I it's more of a, I don't even know. Basically, Rick, we've said it multiple times. The closest team that you can compare the Jets to in terms of history is the Buccaneers, right?
Right.
So I'm not going to take this year. I'll take last year for the Jets. They were number 2 against the run, right?
Right.
The Bucs were number 1. Where I was never worried about teams running against the Jets. That was never a concern. But teams were still putting up a gross amount of numbers on them.
Right.
Because they weren't so great in coverage. They weren't so great in man defense. It just wasn't their specialty.
Well,
you can be number 1 against the run. You can be number 1 against the run.
The difference between the Jets of last year and the Bucs this year, Jacob, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I did watch a lot of the Jets, and I did win a lot of money off the Jets last year, including this year, is they stack the box. They run a much more aggressive type of defense.
That's all GW.
So you're leaving your corners on an island. The Jets refused last year to get beat by the run, where the Buccaneers, on the other hand, are stopping it with a 4 and 5 man front rather than a 6 and a 7 and sometimes putting the 8th in the box. And that's what the Jets did run a lot of. So that can also be misconstrued, or, that's why I say stats are very misleading.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
The Jets they were great at stopping the run, but they needed a lot more players to stop the run versus than what the Buccaneers are doing now.
Sure.
Or even the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the early 2000 era. They didn't have to run that many.
To me, you don't. It's not like the Kansas City Chiefs all of a sudden started running the ball against the Buccaneers. But after that 17-point immediate lead, the Bucs shut them down for 3 quarters. And it's not like they were running the ball. Okay, they didn't run the ball and they couldn't pass. So to me, what happened is adjustments were made, and then the Buccaneers basically controlled the game. It was ugly by that point, and it was hard to watch if you're a Bucs fan because they fell behind so far so fast. But I want to point out something. I don't believe the defense is the problem. I believe on both sides of the ball there's a game plan problem. That they look, every team has to make adjustments, but apparently whatever they're coming in with is so bad that it's putting them behind quickly on both sides of the ball. So I think there's a game plan problem. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's a talent problem.
Listen, I completely agree with you.
You've got to have it. You've got to be able to either adjust quicker, or you've got to come in with a better plan to be able to stop them right off the bat.
I completely agree with you. I got I don't love using the word, but it was probably the dumbest DM I've ever gotten in my life. Right? I got a DM the other day that said, "Why do you talk so much shit about Adam Gase? You know it's not all coaching." I go, if you think that this Jets team is losing because of the talent on their team, then you don't watch the games.
Right.
I agree with you.
Because they have, you look at, I know stats can be misleading. These young rookies, John Franklin Myers, a name that you guys probably don't know. He's a defensive lineman for the Jets. He has the most pressures by a rookie edge, I think, in the league.
Okay.
Absolute stud.
He is so good. And Bryce Hall, it's like his 3rd game. He's a great corner from what we've seen, right? Denzel Mims, Mekhi Becton, great left tackle. The talent is there. If you listen, it's in my name. Cover 0 on a last-second Hail Mary. What are you, forget the tank. What are you doing?
Was Was that? I mean, there is a part of me that has to wonder whether or not, like, I mean, was the phone call made?
Okay, here's my thing on that.
Look,
I wish it was that simple. It's been I honestly think it's just Greg Williams being an idiot. He's always been like that. He's always been the most
Greg
aggressive
Williams
guy.
always did that.
Look,
He's
Harry, you were just
always
talking
been
about
like
it.
that.
You were just talking about it. He stacks however many in the box, and he leaves the corners 1-on-1 on these receivers. It's exactly what.
It's not like Greg Williams has not been a great defensive mind. I mean, we watched him for years in New Orleans.
He's not a great situational defensive mind. He's a good defensive
Bingo.
mind. He's terrible
Bingo.
in situations like that. It's because he
Okay.
thinks that you know what it was. And I was listening to Rich Eisen, and he made the best point about this. Greg Williams, who has had so many, Bounty Gate, whatever, he looked across the field at John Gruden, and this is quoting Rich Eisen. He took his Williams and put it out on the table, and it was like, John Gruden, let's measure, because he was like, let's see if you can, if my guys can get to your quarterback faster than your 4-2 runner, wide receiver can get past my undrafted free agent rookie. And John Gruden ended up being like flipping him off and winning the game. But it was
Right.
it's a Greg Williams ego thing. It always has been. He loves doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just ended up costing
Yeah.
them.
Let's
Yeah.
add Matt Colson back to the stream. Hey, Matt.
Hey guys.
Hey. Okay, you got something you want to add here?
Yes, I was sent a silver ring Cuban sandwich by FedEx today. So that's what I was cooking.
A silver ring Cuban sandwich?
That's
Absolutely.
funny.
Straight from Ybor City.
Wow.
How
From
about
FedEx?
That thing cost like $25 to ship it up here. And it
Oh,
was
you-
worth every damn bit. of
Oh,
it.
you ordered it. I thought they just gave it to you. I thought
No, somebody sent it to me from Tampa.
Wow.
Wow.
Now that's a friend.
Yeah. And it wasn't even expected. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
making some comment on Facebook a couple of weeks ago about
Man.
the silver ring. And
it was
lo
Ray.
and behold, it just showed up today. And I got stuff coming from FedEx for Christmas, and I was kind of excited that was what it was.
Yeah.
And instead, I got a sandwich. How many people can say they got a sandwich from one of the best places in the world, FedEx?
Yeah, that you got me beat. I
Wow.
actually called a restaurant in Tampa to see if I could ship some food to me, and they said no. And I was bummed. I
Well,
was very unhappy.
believe it or not, there are places if you call them directly and you're willing to
Yeah.
put up money, they'll do
I
it.
would have put up the money. I would have done what I had to do, and they said no.
That's all right, Rick. I'll send you some Greek food.
That'll be good too.
You
There's
know, well,
nothing wrong
there's
with that.
yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a restaurant, right? It's actually close to where Peter lives, called Pierogies, Pierogies Grill, and they have the best Polish food. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Polish food. I've
Yeah,
never
they
had
have
Polish.
phenomenal Polish
I'm
food.
Polish. I'm like a quarter Polish. Never. had
Okay,
Polish.
Jacob, have you ever had guamki?
No, I've never had any sort of.
Okay,
Polish
that's
food in my life.
it's cabbage rolls, is what it is.
Okay.
It's called guamki.
Oh, that's delicious.
And yeah, they have. I would go there and get. It was so funny because I'd go there. I would get. They call them pierogies, pierogies, guamki, and Polish sausage, and kielbasa. And I'd get all of it, and I'd have brown gravy on the cheese pierogies and cabbage rolls.
Pierogies are delicious. I there was a hotel I was staying at. This was a nice little treat. I was in Boca Raton, Florida, and this was a while ago. And I was staying at a nice little resort with my family, and they had the most delicious pierogies I've ever had in my entire life. And I sat there, and this was when nobody cares, but in the last year I've lost a ton of weight. Like I went on a super diet, and I just started
cool.
change my whole life. I was just sitting there, me at whatever weight I was, just popping pierogies. It was my mom was like, "Are you ever gonna stop?" I was like, "Probably not." This is
With the sauteed onions
they were so good. It's just all of it.
and the
Oh my-
sour cream.
Oh yeah.
I'll stop it, Greek. Just stop.
Oh my God.
It's stop turning into a football show. This should just be on Food Network. Bucks Report.
That was the whole
Oh,
reason I was trying
man.
to get back on is I wanted to say that before, and you guys kind of directed me a different direction. But yeah, I got it. I had a pretty good afternoon with that. I was quite shocked, and man, I want to go home now because there's a lot of places. We were talking about La Teresita the other night.
Yeah,
I just all of a sudden I'm homesick because the only thing I got
Yeah.
here is McLeod
Wait a
Cafe
minute.
Diner, which
Yeah.
you get.
La Teresita. That's around here, I thought.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
what he's talking about. Matt lives in Oklahoma. I live here in Charlotte, and we were waxing eloquent about eating at La Teresita.
For like $3,
That's right.
you get the chicken and yellow rice, and it's the best
Yeah.
thing you ever put in your mouth, man. That just it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's an Italian grocery store down around Hyde Park or that area, and I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, but it's one of those places where you can actually watch them make the sausage that you're about to buy.
Oh, nice.
Oh God, you walk in there, and as soon as that little bell rings against the glass, you get hit in the face with all this Italian Greek smelling whatever, and it's just beautiful.
It's right off of 22nd Avenue. It's called Mazzaro's.
That might be what I'm talking about. I can't remember
Ugh.
exactly, but
It's a
that was
nice
great
deli,
place to
Rick.
Go shopping.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
I'm
had
just,
stuff on the shelf you never
I,
found.
my old boss at my old job in Tampa, she always told me she was going to bring some of the cabbage rolls from pierogies and never did. And I always think about the fact when next time I go to Tampa, that's like literally the first thing I'm doing.
I want to get down to Tampa. I need COVID to be over. Then I want to head down to Tampa. I really want to go to a Bucks game next year. That's like my number one goal is during like Christmas next year, head down to Tampa, go to a nice little game. Maybe if I'm lucky, I could stay long enough to see a playoff game, but
I wonder who the Bucks are playing. I mean, I don't know what conferences or what divisions they're playing next year.
I think you guys come up here next year, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think you guys come. I think you guys
Jacob?
play the Jets. Maybe not here,
Jacob,
but you guys
if
play
you
the Jets.
come to Tampa, Jacob, you have it on recording. You let me know ahead of time. You let me know what game you're going to come to. And son, I'll get you the tickets.
Okay.
Well, there you
I
go.
Oh,
appreciate
sure.
that. I
Sure.
appreciate that.
Sure. Not the host of the show. Oh, no. Oh, no.
You're always welcome. I work for a company that's a major sponsor for the National Football League as well
Oh,
as
wow.
the MLB and the National Hockey League. I work for Bridgestone.
Okay.
Harry's
I know
mad at me because I disagreed with him about the defense. Let me tell you something.
No.
Remember, I was saying earlier, I don't know if you guys heard, there's no truth to the rumor that I know Peter was not on last night. There's no truth to the rumor that I've kidnapped him and have him in a box and I'm trying to keep him
He
from
may have
doing
a
his
girlfriend.
shows. There's no truth. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, sorry.
Jacob, you need to come closer to the camera or zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
He sits back on the
Look
40
about this
yard
big.
line.
This is just, I don't know. I used to have it really close up, and I was just like, I don't need anyone looking.
There's
that
somewhere
close to
in
my face.
between there, Jacob.
I know.
Just
Here,
about
Hold
another.
on. Hold on.
Just about another foot, Jacob. Just a foot.
you go.
You're a good-looking kid, man. Bring that camera in.
There you go.
Hi, welcome to What's Cooking in the South.
Hey, Rick, where are you? Oh, there you are.
It looks like I'm already on my way to Tampa. Oh, I'm so far back there. Oh my god.
No, but seriously, Jacob, if you want to go to the game, there's
Absolutely.
plenty of people that know how to get in touch with me. Everybody say hello to Bandit,
Hi, Bandit.
That's a
and
big
then say
cat.
hello to Atlanta Stadium.
Ah.
Oh man.
So,
Let's get
Jacob,
back to that
were you
Minnesota
happy-
game because I'm chomping at the bit to tell you, man, defensively, this team is really bad.
Oh, she's sneaking in the background trying to
Yeah,
hide.
she
didn't
didn't
work.
want to. She didn't want to be on camera.
Didn't work.
No, actually, she was trying to chase the cat.
Oh,
She's saving the cat.
Now she
Okay,
says she's
there you
saving
go.
the cat. She's
well, here's the
saving
deal.
cat.
Here's the deal. She could have waited one more minute, and I'm about to go to commercial. But no, that was far better. Can you guys hold on? I'm going to break for commercial, and we will be back in just this is a short commercial break. We'll be right
For
back.
sure.
I'm going to go have a nail. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, guys. We are back.
Yay!
Shut up! Shut up! Sorry.
Let Jacob out of the box.
No, that's Peter. You know, I don't know why he wasn't on his show last night.
He got a girlfriend. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Finally working that crowd scene from the Isle del Sol.
Yeah.
So
He wasn't feeling too well last night, gentlemen.
No, he was not.
no.
He was not. It's hard to feel good stuck in the box.
Rick, did you fill in? Did someone fill in, or was it just canceled?
No, it was going almost.
Almost.
Yeah, he's. I think he's gonna do another show at some point here to make up for it. I'm not sure what the deal
Man,
is.
he what does he do? 5 shows a week? He doesn't got to
Yeah.
make up for anything. He's
Hey, Harry, I've got
Yes,
the
sir.
answer to you and I disagreeing. You ready?
Yes.
Only way to settle this argument is to play Russian roulette.
Hang on. Let me get something out of my drawer.
Yeah.
Spin.
Oh man. Okay, so back to the game, and I forgot to do something here, so I have to share this really quickly. Today's recipe. This will be available on Facebook, on the Bucks Report Facebook. I usually do it going into break, but yeah, this is today's recipe. It's on Bucks Report Facebook page under the story, you know, and we're also gonna have, if you didn't get it, we're also gonna have a cookbook coming out. Shh.
Oh, you know, I have a Q Morning Zoo cookbook. You remember those guys?
What was that?
The Q Morning Zoo?
Yeah.
Q Morning Zoo from Q105.
Yeah, with the crazy people in the morning. I actually have one of their cookbooks from way back when in
Oh,
the
wow.
80s somewhere.
Awesome.
I found it at a yard sale before I left Tampa. And it blew me away.
Awesome.
It's got
I
a
like
great recipe in there for baked beans for a picnic. It's pretty simple. It says take a fiver from your wife's purse and go to Ben's Barbecue and get a quart of beans, pour it into Corellware, and off you go.
Nice.
It's like the no-cook baked beans or something.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Matt, did you have something to add? Did you have a question for us?
I was going to talk about the defense thing you were
Do it.
You were talking about.
The floor is yours, sir.
Well, you were asking about who's running against us and that kind of thing, and I agree with you, Rick. I don't think Kamara had a good game against us, and so they stopped running him. And why do you do that? Kamara's the bell cow, and they didn't keep up doing it. So something had to be part of that decision that they had in New Orleans. Might have been the fact that they were passing the ball all over us, but the point is, you mentioned it. We played Kamara. We played just about every running back except Derrick Henry, I think.
No, I think we played Derrick Henry last year.
Yeah, but I mean on this season's.
Right. No, I'm saying you can go back a year, more than a year now, more than 16 games. You can go back. You can go back probably 20 games and look at no one has rushed for 100 yards against
For the
them.
most part, it's also the same defensive linebacker core, right?
Well, Vita Vea has been out for a long time, and that was going to be a big
Right.
hole to
Vita
fill.
Vea being that's
that's
kind
like
of a thing.
kind of trying to replace Dick Butkus in the 60s.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen easily anyway. And we managed to do that. Sue is clogging up the holes. You don't see him getting a lot of sacks necessarily, but he's causing enough disruption. And whoever they bring in for the running downs seems to be working well enough.
We got somebody else to add to this mix here. Chuck, I'm going to bring Chuck in here. But Chuck, welcome to What's Cooking in the South, brother. Now I got to tell you, to be welcomed into the show. This is the intersection of food and football. Before you can talk football, you got to tell us what'd you have for dinner.
I had a Cobb salad from Chick-fil-A.
All right.
Okay. All right, Cobb's,
Healthy.
that's good.
Sort of. I mean, it's fried chicken, and the avocado lime ranch has like 300 calories. So it's
It sounds healthy enough.
Yeah,
Nobody
it had the
eats
word
Greek
salad in it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
had the word salad in it. So
like
There were
Yeah.
absolutely there were greens in there, and there was a hard boiled egg. So
You,
a
you-
little
you got
bit.
you got the color in your foods for today. That's all you need.
I did, yes, yes.
so Chuck,
Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Nobody's eating Greek food, man. I don't get it.
It's hard to find except at Arby's around here.
You have to be in a very specific mood.
Arby's?
Greek food if you're not Greek.
I mean, Tarpon Springs isn't far
That's
from
the best
here,
you're gonna
but my wife and I are a one-car family, so it's a bit of a to-do to get there.
well, I gotta know. Okay, Chuck.
Oh man.
So you get to come in here. First of all, introduce yourself to our audience, if you would do that for me.
Good evening. My name is Chuck. I'm one of the newer invitees, I suppose, to this wonderful football forum. I'm a Tampa native, Clearwater, Florida, but not born, but definitely raised, and a Bucks fan as long as I've cared about football, which dates back to '98. So my first season was a disappointment, which means that I think I'm a true Bucks fan, and just love the team, love talking about them, and I love food. So I'm ready for wherever this discourse goes.
Yeah, so you're in the right place. Okay, by the way, Mike DeRoche, who's coming on here in just a moment, Mike gave us a comment in the last running back to gain 100 yards per week was week 9 last year, the Seahawks. Chris Carson, 16 carries, 105 yards.
Chris who?
Well, yeah, he had that big 50-yard run,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
at the end of Devin White stripped him, and of course the ball just skied out of bounds.
Yep.
But
And
it
it,
wasn't a great day for the defense.
but that's
Northwest.
the thank you, Mike. That is the last running back to run for 100 yards. So, I mean, when you've played the quality of running backs that this team has played against week after week after week after week after week, and you're still, you're standing looking there saying, hey, we're the number 1 rush defense. I'm going to be happy about that. I'm going to say we got to work on other stuff, but I'm happy about it. I'm not going to say, well, the reason is, sorry, Harry. And it's not that your logic isn't right. I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't correct. I'm saying there's a different perspective to it. That's all.
Well, no. Yeah, I was just trying to give you a different perspective than other than people just getting so enamored with it. But I'm used to people disagreeing with me
People don't just get freaking enamored with this team. That's what
it's
that's
the
what
beauty
I've
of
been bitching
football.
about.
No,
they don't.
enamored with that statistic is what I meant. Did I say team? My apologies.
No. I'm clarifying. Okay, anytime the Buccaneers do something well, everybody's got to find the angle where you can say something negative about it.
That's
And
generation.
this is, I mean, nobody just celebrates anymore.
Nobody's happy anymore, Rick. Everybody's got to have an argument. That's social
nobody's
media.
just
You got to
happy.
argue, and
Yeah.
that's the problem with it. I don't think if this team was in 98, if this Brady situation was back then, there'd be people wanting to have parades every Monday afternoon.
Well, this is the time to be happy right now, this year. And it just doesn't
7 and
feel
5,
like it.
baby.
I have a bit of
7
a personal question here. This is like super random, and I was just thinking about it. Do you guys remember if the Browns had a parade when they went 0-16? Because I remember
No, they did not.
They did.
No, they did
I
not.
think they might have. I think
No.
I feel like I remember that happening at some point.
they
No,
had a
I don't
parade
know.
when they
But if there's one
drafted
guy here who would be at that parade, it's Matt Colson. Because
well, me after this year.
okay, well, Matt's been the Baker Mayfield carrying the Baker Mayfield torch since day one.
Well, you have to remember something, Rick. In Oklahoma, we don't have a team. So you're either watching Dallas or an Oklahoma alum. So we got Tyler Murray every weekend if they can fit it in. And when they do the AFC side, they do the Baker Mayfield as often as possible. We used to be Vikings fans back when AP was over there. And we'd have him on every daggum Sunday. But that's why they do it. And the other reason is because Peter gives Baker no credit whatsoever. He thinks he's a complete underachiever and a waste of time and not ever going to be anything. And this year, he's got a better record than the Buccaneers do so far. It doesn't matter about schedule. It's 8-3 versus 7-5, and that's what matters. So,
well, now, Chuck,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, Chuck. Yeah, we had a discussion here earlier. Well, let me just ask you this: give me your impressions. What do you think's going to happen this week? What do you expect? What do you think's just what do you see out of this team?
Out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings, I would expect a team to come out firing on all cylinders. This is as healthy as they will be for the rest of the season here. Unfortunately, we mentioned the big man. We mentioned Vita Vea. And when his ankle snapped, when his leg snapped against Chicago, the trajectory of this defense was altered in a way that I don't think many people could really register. The defense can still get stops, but it just fundamentally alters what they're able to do schematically. Now, with that said, they can still stop the run. And against the Minnesota Vikings, if you force Kirk Cousins to beat you and you play anything other than vanilla coverages, you've got a decent shot against him. Just ask a Minnesota Vikings fan how much they like Kirk Cousins. And he hasn't put up a bad stat line this year. But this is a guy that when the lights are brightest tends to falter. This is also a defense that's in the mid-20s in most statistical categories. It's a defense that can be gashed. Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, against the run, against the pass, third downs, red zone, this is a defense that can be exploited. Chris Godwin's got the pins out of his finger now.
Yep.
You've got another week of rest for Donovan Smith's ankle. You've got Ali Marpet with another week off. Hopefully his brain continues to de-swell.
Wow.
You hope that this is the best effort you'll see from the Bucs this season. Because if it's anything less than that, maybe they're not the playoff team that we hope they are.
Yeah, and I Chuck, I think you just summarized everything. I mean, that you summarized everything perfectly. And the thing that I see, it's funny. It's not. You would think when you're talking about a fan base, right? Like when you pull up somebody, like I pull up Chuck here. Right, I pull up Chuck, and you see all the Buck stuff. You say, "You're beautiful, man." No, when you put him on the screen and you see all the Buccaneer stuff, you think, "Oh, okay. Well, he's got Buck stuff everywhere." It's not going to be, it's going to be slanted. But the funny thing is with the Buccaneers, it's almost like the opposite. Where
no one is more realistic to your team than Bucs fans. It's the same thing with the Jets.
It's
Nobody is more.
Way. It's almost cynical versus realism.
Yeah. Oh, I everything I've seen from you guys as Bucs fans, it's been listen. There's everyone else is like, and people who don't follow this team are people who are going to be like, listen, this is Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all these guys, and Bruce Arians, and this insane defense. There's no way they don't win the Super Bowl. There's no way they don't make it to the Super Bowl. Once you start following this team, you start nitpicking, and that's when you start thinking of different things to just start criticizing. And I think that's every fan base within themselves, right? You're following that team more, so naturally you're going to have more to nitpick because you're going to know more about that team. And I think that's what happens a lot with every single fan base.
Harry, don't say anything, okay? Harry, don't say anything yet. I want you to be quiet on this initially. All right, I'm going to start with you, Jacob.
Okay.
What do you think the over-under was for the Buccaneers when it comes to wins and losses? How many wins? Harry, don't look it up. What was the wins and losses before this year started?
10.5.
Okay, Matt, what do you think the wins and losses were before this year started?
Before or after Brady?
After Brady.
After Brady. It was about 11 if you talk to NFL networks.
Okay, no, Vegas. What do you think?
Well, that's what I mean. I think
so you're saying 11
or so. Yeah.
Jacob said 10.5. Chuck, what do you think it was?
I want to say it was 9.5.
Harry?
Everybody's breaking up a little bit, but I think you're asking me what I thought the over and under was for the year.
Yes.
Who said 10.5?
I did.
Okay, I'm going to do this because I think we might have too many people in here.
I'll step out.
Okay, Matt, thank you. Sorry. All right, awesome. Let's see if this helps any. Okay, guys, Chuck nailed it perfectly. It was 9.5.
That was my guess, and I was like, there's no way that it was only not. How? That's insane, right? Because I was looking at this team, even I'll admit it, I was looking at this team, I was like, wow, this team.
Okay, I'm going to do this because it's
breaking right now. In Jersey, the sports books in Jersey and at the Meadowlands were 10.5. They were just William Hill was all over the place on that.
Yeah,
Vegas had a different line.
because this is breaking up so bad, everybody hold on. I would put you in the lobby and I will be right back. Okay.
See.
All right. I'm going to play ads. I will be right back.
Okay.
Just because I let it slide doesn't mean it isn't pulling on my heart till it's almost wide. 'Cause I wanna let you feel strong.
Okay, guys, everybody there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is better. I had somebody texting me saying to me that it's not breaking up to them. So that's good. I know it was for all of us. So sorry about that. We're good now. What's really funny is when I just rebooted during that time period, of course, the moment, this is the way it always works. I mean, I barely made it back because I hit reboot and then it's like, hold on, Windows updates.
Technology hates it. Technology hates us all. Softwares hate us all. I'm just convinced of it.
Rise of the machines.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is good.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, now I'm sorry about that little break, guys. But look, this to me is 9.5 was what Vegas said before this year started that the Bucks were going to win.
Mhm.
All right. They're on pace for at least 10-6, a little better than Vegas's line. Okay. And I think we all would have said take the over. But okay, if it was, if they go not, 10 or 11 at this point, I mean, look, Vegas had a pretty realistic view or a different kind of view, and everybody's very disappointed in how this year's going. And that's why, to me, it's like everybody simmer down there, Sparky.
You can be disappointed, but how are you like upset at how the season's going is my question.
Right.
You can't
And
be.
we're going to have fun. We are going to have fun, guys, on Sunday night on the other show that I'm on Live from the Cheap Seats. We're going to talk about stupid stuff Bucks fans say.
Rick, I'll be there.
It's going to be fun because I'm doing screen captures and I'm going to show, and I don't think I'm going to blur out anybody's name.
Oh boy, I
So-
want to be included in there.
Okay, come on, Sunday night, 9:00. We
I'll be
will
there.
be on.
I'll
for
be
stupid
angry.
Stuff Bucks
I'll be angry.
fans say.
I'll be angry. We'll lose to the Seahawks. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be in a mood to yell about things.
It's gonna be a good time. So that's on Live from the Cheap Seats on Sunday, and it will be fun. Mike DeRoche just asked me to send the link, so I will do that. So we can get Mike in here.
And while
All
we're
right.
waiting, I want to bring up this is just this is a random question. Can someone explain to me how Des Bryant tests positive for COVID like on the field, and they deem he's not close contact with anybody? He was like hugging Cowboys players and like
Wait, he tested positive on the
Like-
field?
like right before game time in warmups, he tests positive for COVID. They just take him out of the game. He quits the season on Twitter. He goes, "I'm done with this." He quits the NFL publicly on Twitter after he tests positive.
He,
They deem
he
he's
just did that.
they deem he's not close contact with anybody, and
What
now
do
they're
you-
playing again.
wait, they
Hollywood
deemed he was not close contact, but we all watched him be
We
close
all-
contact.
watched it happen. Like watched him go over and hug Cowboys players. Like
Well, you know,
I
this
don't know
brings
if
up
anybody
something really
cares.
funny. What's that?
I don't know if anybody cares, but Dallas just missed their third field goal.
oh, correct the
And I'm
leg.
gonna- and you know what? And I'm going to say this on record. I would rather be lucky than good any day of the week. I am not a Ravens fan, but except when I got money on them.
Oh, I needed a big Ravens. I needed a big day from this Ravens team. I'm down by like I was down by like 30 in fantasy, and I have Hollywood and Ravens defense, and so that's going fine right now.
Awesome.
Hollywood just had a touchdown, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
Guys,
Yeah, Brown
I'm
caught a magnificent TD in that just a few minutes ago.
I am so jacked up about this game. Now I've kept my
You can
mouth
tell.
shut and I've asked you guys all of this. Okay. This is the week. Okay, guys. I believe this is the week. Everybody now, you guys, anybody who's been on my show or who has watched my show will attest to the fact that when everybody else was screaming, "Oh, it's going to be a blowout this week. Oh, it's going to be every week," everybody was predicting blowouts, and I'm like, see it coming down to a field goal. I kept saying that. Guys, the blowout comes this week. All right, the Bucks are going to blow out the Vikings.
Yes.
All right.
I would have told you that in week 1.
Okay, now I say blowout. Let me say, when I say blowout, 17 points.
35. I'd say 35, 17, 35, 30, somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
So you agree with me, Jacob?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think we all
30
agree. I think I'm
38.
on the same. I'm on the same, almost exact score, kind of a 34-17 sort of a score.
Yeah.
You know,
I think-
Chuck,
I
do you
think
have
it's
any
a-
idea? You,
I think-
you willing to hop in? Or you want to hold off?
Look, the Bucks are supposed to blow out the Vikings. They are more talented in every position group over the Minnesota roster.
Running back. Running back.
Okay,
Not
look,
running back.
Dalvin Cook has better hands. He's a better pass catcher than
The
Ronald
better
Jones.
runner and the better
With the-
catcher.
I will say this: Ronald Jones runs pretty well when he's not hit in the backfield. Okay, his rookie season. It's so funny to me how Bucks fans wanted to crucify Ronald Jones after his rookie season when I think he was given about 20 touches, and on 12 of them he was met in the backfield.
He got
Ronald Jones is a talented back. Okay,
He got crucified in his rookie year, but I want to point out
I
something
agree.
about that. But Chuck, there's something about that. His first year in college, he was not very good. Okay, and they said he seemed soft, he seemed tentative, he didn't seem like he wanted to hit the hole, all of that. And then going into the second year, he was a completely different back. I think the same thing happened in Tampa. Now, yes, he got hit a lot in the backfield. Yes, he did. But if any running back is being outperformed by Peyton Barber, yeah.
I think that potentially. I think this is. Tell me if you guys agree with me, but I think potentially the reason why Ronald Jones might get a lot of hate, and yes, he doesn't do everything correctly. Obviously, he has a fumble problem and his hands aren't great, but I think it's just because his name is like Ronald Jones on a team with Tom Brady and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown
Yeah.
and Rob Gronkowski, and he's kind of like the nobody name on
Yep.
this offense. And so when he does something, it's very easy to point blame to the guy who doesn't, who can people believe would do things wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's
But guys, he does have a name. He does have a name. It's the victim of volume.
Victim of volume. Thank you, Peter Blake.
Yeah, Peter Blake. I hear every single time. I don't think I've ever heard Peter Blake say the words Ronald Jones. It's
And he doesn't just
The
say victim of volume.
volume.
He doesn't say victim of volume. He says
of
it's a
volume.
victim of volume. But who cares what Peter? See, you mentioned Ronald Jones. He's got to say it.
Yeah, that's new. You need a soundbite of just that. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Listen,
Victim
I
of
agree
volume.
with you, Chuck. Jones is a really good running back. but you cannot put him in the same category as a Dalvin Cook.
Well,
I will give you that the Vikings starting running back is superior to the Bucks starting running back.
But not the whole running back
take,
position.
As little as Leonard Fournette has contributed in the opportunities he's been given, I'll take Leonard Fournette against their backup running back, and I will take our receiving core against their receiving core. I will take our tight ends against their tight ends. I will take our quarterback, and
But we're
I'll
not playing
take
second
our
strings here,
defense.
guys.
Guys, what's that? What have we heard though? What have we heard? What's the saying in football? What's the cliche? What's the best ability?
Availability.
Availability. Okay.
And reliability.
And well, okay.
Throwing.
And
Yeah, there you go.
Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry, but Ronald Jones has been a better running back when it comes to that than Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook keeps getting injured.
I mean, you can't fault the guy for tearing an ACL. Nobody ever plans to do it.
You know, I'm not faulting anybody.
I will
He's
say
been
this.
healthy since then.
I will say this. Knowing the Buccaneer defense, Kirk Cousins scares me more than Dalvin Cook. Because if we don't pressure Kirk Cousins, and if we play soft off-man zone, they've got Justin Jefferson and they've got Adam Thielen. They've got weapons that he can use to exploit them. We all remember you like that. I mean, Jacob, I don't know how closely you follow things, but I remember that 24-point meltdown, and you like that. I still have Kirk Cousins in my nightmares.
Chuck, you just said you're more scared of Kirk Cousins than Dalvin Cook.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Oh, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna side with Chuck on this one. I'm going to side with Chuck on this one.
What?
Here's why. Listen, this is bringing it back. You guys have the number one run defense in the league. If you give Kirk Cousins time to throw, he will throw for 300 yards on you. He will.
To the defense.
He will.
You guys are. You know what? Mute me for a minute, please. Because can you see the veins?
I want to hear you.
Whether or not you guys put up points, whether or not you guys, I think you guys are going to put up a ton of points. I'm saying that you guys need to stop this game from becoming a 40-32 kind of game because you didn't put enough pressure on the quarterback because you were more worried about Dalvin Cook than you were about Kirk Cousins finding two of the most talented receivers in the NFL. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are fantastic. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying this is a trap game for the Bucs because the Vikings are not an awful team. They're not awful, right? Their defense is bad, but their offense has not been bad. It really hasn't. And I think that it's going to be, if you guys don't put enough pressure, if you guys stop worry too much about Dalvin Cook and don't worry enough about Kirk Cousins, he's going to take advantage of it. And it's Kirk Cousins is bad, but he's not bad enough to be not taking advantage of you guys with bad play calls on defense.
Mike DeRose says 28-10 Tampa Bay. Teresa says 27-17. Johnny, this is a great comment. Actually, it's a good point. Pretty easy to stay healthy when you're on the sidelines. We're in a game. Jones is nowhere near the bell cow. Cook is. Yeah, really, when you only run the ball as a team 5 times in a game.
Even this season, Cook's been limping off the field a little bit more than people would like to say he has. Like, whether or not he's coming back in the game is a different story because he is, but he's limping off the field a nice amount, and that's kind of concerning if you're a Viking.
I don't even know what to say about that, though. I mean, to me, look, it is. Hold on, Johnny Dean's coming in. Hi, Johnny. I hope you're bringing some sanity to this conversation.
Well, it depends on your version of sanity because Jacob and Chuck over there is right.
Yes.
and if where did that whole entire you like that come from?
No, we already said this. That came from the Buccaneer, from a Bucs game.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's the same guy.
But this is not the same team.
No, it's not. He's on a better team.
No, I'm saying the Bucks are not the same team.
You better watch. You better
They're
watch
not-
out for their offense. Jacob was 100% correct. If you focus solely on stopping Dalvin Cook in the run game and not getting pressure on him, it's going to be like that.
I agree with
you guys are so good at stopping the run anyway without focusing on stopping the run that if you focus too much on something that you're already good at, then he's going to take advantage of you taking advantage of your weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but to me, it's look, guys. They hung
I
tight.
need to
with the-
interject here with this insanity.
hold on, let me finish my thought,
Seriously.
Harry. Look, when you hang tight with Kansas City, when you hang tight with the Rams, when you're playing these teams like you are, and then, people say Minnesota's looked good for the last 4 weeks. Well, okay, they beat the Cowboys. Okay,
No.
they beat the Jaguars.
They did. They beat the Jaguars. They didn't beat the Cowboys.
They lost to the Cowboys. Minnesota did.
Yes.
I can't. Rick. As much as I want to agree with you, there, I can't. I can't say that as just personal experience. We talked. You can't take those matchups and move them into week by week because the Raiders beat the Chiefs.
No, I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is I have not seen Minnesota put together any kind of a good game, really.
What about the game against Green Bay?
Let me finish my sentence.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm very heated about the Minnesota Vikings for some reason.
Wow. I mean, it's look, I have
bring the
not
heat.
seen the Minnesota Vikings put together any kind of a decent, complete game against a good team, okay, other than the Packers, when you compare it to how many teams they've lost to that they should have beaten, if they're that good. Now, am I discounting them? No, I'm not that guy.
That's
Okay.
the point. That was the point. That was all it was.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. If you solely try to stop the run, sure, but that's not the way this team plays.
Is it no? Is it though? Because here. Look, Harry, I see you, Harry. Let me qualify something because I know you're still scheming that I disrespected Dalvin Cook the way I did.
No, I don't see that. I don't even like the guy. I hate the Vikings. Do you understand? I'm an NFC North guy. Let me just say one thing, and I'm going to let you guys do whatever you want. I do this for a living.
Yes.
If you guys think, just find one game, just find one game that Kirk Cousins this year has beaten somebody with his arm. One. I challenge you to find one game that Kirk Cousins beat someone with the arm. And he hasn't faced this defense.
What about the game against the Bears? The game against the Bears. He had
He didn't beat him.
292 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. No pick.
Team Hicks went out of the game. A safety fell down, and there was a lucky catch in the end zone. I watched the game. I lost a ton of money in that game. Trust me when I tell you. You stop Dalvin Cook, and you know they're not going to run the football, trust me, the guy's going on his back. Kirk Cousins stinks.
Here's the thing,
That's
Harry.
about as animated as you'll ever see me get, ever.
Harry, I don't even disagree with you, Harry. I know that Kirk Cousins stinks. I've watched him stink for years. We all have. Anybody that watches football has seen Kirk Cousins underperform. But the variable that we're not discussing enough is the scheme that this defense has been running for most of the season since Vita Vea went down. Right. You look at the Rams game. Let's talk about the Rams game for just a moment, because that's another time where the Buccaneers absolutely shut down the opponent's running game. They averaged under 2 yards a carry, and they only rushed it, I think, 12, 13, 15 times. But Jared Goff threw it 51 times, completed 39 of them, and they went up and down the field. And it was if it wasn't
You're talking about the Rams game. Now tell me if I'm incorrect. For some reason in that game, the defense suddenly forgot how to tackle. And if they tackled like they had in every other game, they would not have gotten all those first downs and all those yards and everything. It would have been an entirely different game. The missed tackles was the story of that game.
You're right. Let's not talk about the Rams game. Let's talk about Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears putting together drive after drive against this Bucs defense. Okay, let's talk about any number of quarterbacks on each team.
1 second. I'm actually going to get a shot of liquor, and I don't drink.
Harry, I'll do one with you. My liquor cabinet's right over there. What I'm saying is,
Johnny, what do you say about Thursday night games, Johnny?
Oh man, they shouldn't be played.
No, they shouldn't. It's terrible football. But the game still counts. The game.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, you got
I get what Chuck's saying there. And it's true. They have had to scheme to stop the run because without Vita Vea, you have to add an extra body, and it does take that. That's X's and O's. You have to scheme in order to stop the run. Now we didn't used to have to scheme that way to stop the run because Vita was taking up 2 spots, and so was Sue. But what's that got to do with the price of tickets in China?
I feel better now.
Just lost.
I don't even know what we're talking about. We're talking about
I feel
stopping.
better now.
We're stopping Minnesota Vikings. We got to stop Thielen more than we got to stop anybody else. I think.
I can get like orange juice if you guys want. I mean, like I can.
No, I mean, I think Harry's the only one drinking at the moment, but it's going to be a long night. I'm like, holy
I love
cow,
each and
man!
every one of you guys. I really do. But that was just ridiculous.
Oh my god!
I think you guys
never lose it.
I think that what it's coming from is like you guys are underrating this Vikings offense a lot, and the schemes that it can the amount of things that it can do because it's not a bad offense.
So well.
It's not a bad offense even without Dalvin Cook. I don't really think it's a terrible. They do what the Bucs should be doing, which is running to set up the pass and passing to set up the run. Yeah.
Hold on. I need another drink.
That's what.
Any given Sunday, look what the Jets almost did. If it hadn't been for their defensive coordinator, they'd have won a game.
I don't want to talk about the Jets. I had enough of that.
I'm at a loss for freaking words. I'm at a loss.
Can I point something out here? Can I point something out? I'm a Bucs fan. We got a Jets fan. We've got an NFC North fan here. As a Bucs fan, this is a team that has not made the playoffs since 2007. The last time we won 10 games was 2010. We were almost through a parade when this team went 9-7 in 2016. Now here we are. We're 7-5. And if the season miraculously stopped right now, we'd be a 6th seed in an expanded playoff bracket. And suddenly we're qualified to dismiss a team that's won half of its games? What are we doing?
You know what? That's a great point.
Actually, they haven't won half of them yet.
I thought, aren't they 6-6?
Yeah, they're 6-6.
Oh, I thought they were 6-7.
No, they're 6-6.
They're a game behind.
6-7 in a week's time.
They're 1 game behind.
Okay.
And if they win, then suddenly we're bumped even further back. So look, I believe the Bucs should win this game. I think they can win this game going away. And until they do, I'm going to have my doubts.
I think the Bucs. I'll take it one step further.
But honestly, how can they win when Kirk Cousins is going to throw for 350 and 5 touchdowns and Dalvin Cook's going to run for 150 yards?
No,
look, I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to. The reason Dalvin Cook doesn't scare me is because of how this team plays defense. We've shut down every formidable running back since, other than Chris Carson. I mean, we've played against Derrick Henry. We've played against Christian McCaffrey twice a year. We've played against the Packers running game. We've played against some great running games, and we shut them all down. I'm not worried about Dalvin Cook. What I am worried about is the young secondary giving cushion that doesn't need to be given to guys like Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I'm worried about Devin White and pass coverage. I'm worried about our young safeties. I'm worried about our inability to pressure with 4 people. I mean, I hope to be proven wrong, but the last couple of weeks, the last month of football doesn't unsettle me. Look at the Bucs against the Giants. Look at the Bucs against the Chiefs.
But it's against Kansas City and the Rams, not the freaking Vikings.
Listen,
I don't think the Buccaneers are qualified to dismiss anyone.
I don't think the Buccaneers are going into this with a 2-time Super Bowl winning head coach and a 6-time winning Super Bowl quarterback, thinking that this is going to be a pushover.
No,
They've both played through this part of this. This is crunch time, man. They know what crunch time is about. And they're going to instill that.
guys,
How many
you
Super
know
Bowls
what?
have Bruce Arians won?
I make such a big deal. I make such a big deal out of separating my other show and this show, right? I've repeated. Poor Harry got an earful today with me talking about the fact that I want to keep that my live from the cheap seats separate from this show. But I got to play a video. I got to play a video that I created for this moment. This is like the opening basically of the show the other night, and I gotta play this. Hey, you call yourself a Bucks fan? Some of you, not even close. You don't know what being a fan is. But tonight, we're here to change all that. Welcome to Buccaneer Fan Academy. School's in session. Are you ready? 10 simple rules to being a good Buccaneers fan. Rule number 1. If you call yourself a fan, root for your team more than you gripe about it. This is going to be a stretch for some of you. According to my news feed on Facebook, you guys have a hard time with this one. Rule number 2. Free agents that leave are now the enemy. I don't need to explain this. I think it explains itself. Rule number 3. Heckle or blame the refs at least once per game. That's your job as a fan. Rule number 4. Stop thinking that changing coaches is the answer. Every 2 years you want to change. Heck, man, practically every year you want to change coaches. That's not the answer. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is nothing but insanity. Rule number 5. Wins and losses are the actual benchmark of whether or not your team is good. Your expectations are not the benchmark. You might expect perfection, but your team can still be a really good team even though they don't live up to your unrealistic expectations. Wins and losses, folks. Your team's 7-5. They're going to the playoffs. This is the best year in a decade and a half, and your quarterback is even breaking the record, basically having the best season of any quarterback in the history of the franchise. You say, no, he's not. He didn't throw for that many yards. If it's only yards, okay. But he's going to have half the picks, 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns. Sorry, guys. Best season ever for a Buccaneer quarterback. Rule number 6. It's okay to be happy. Really? Rule number 7. No, really. It's okay to be happy. You can do that. And this is the season to do it. Rule number 8. No amount of evidence will convince an idiot. Let the negative folks be miserable. They want to be. They want to be unhappy. Leave them be. You're not going to change their mind. Rule number 9. Embrace the positive, but be realistic. The team's not perfect. The slow starts are brutal. They make the games really difficult to watch. The offense, throwing the ball and abandoning the running game, throwing the ball like they are, that can be tough to watch. Having said that, The team is 7-5. And again, this is your team going to the playoffs for the first time in like 15 years. Come on, guys. Come on. And rule number 10, remember it. Write it down. Put it on your forehead. Do whatever you got to do. This is supposed to be fun. This is your leisure time. This is what you do for fun. If you're miserable as a Buccaneers fan, what are you doing here? Come on, class of 2020. You can do this. You're the future. All right, guys. So I swear to you, when I listen to everybody talking about this team, it's like everybody is so concerned with being, I got to be realistic. I mean, it's like, come on. Okay, you can be realistic, but there's also
Rick.
It's not bad. It's not bad, guys. It's okay.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me what I had to eat, man.
What'd you have to eat, Johnny?
I'm disappointed, man.
I got all distracted and you know, Harry getting all excited for the first time, which totally makes my day.
I've never seen him more angry in my life. I've never seen
I'm never angry.
That was awesome.
Happy to help.
That was amazing. Oh my god.
I know that was
Chuck,
awesome.
Chuck, we did it. Chuck, we did it.
Johnny?
What did I have? Oh, I had meatloaf.
Now, what did I have? Wait a minute. Like I sprung this on you?
Yeah, I had to
You're
take
the one who brought up the question.
Oh, it was the question was because you've just shocked me with the whole show tonight, man. Not even asking me what I had.
He was flustered.
Yeah.
He still hasn't answered. He's trying to make up an answer.
I was
What'd you have for dinner?
when you interrupted me with the what are you talking about? I had meatloaf and grits, cheese grits tonight.
Meatloaf and cheese grits.
That's a very South thing. That's the most Southern meal I've ever heard in my life.
That is a really Southern meal.
Well, it is what's cooking in the South, right?
Yes,
Yeah, you definitely.
that is what's cooking in the South. That is.
And do you know how hard it is to get grits here? And
Yeah, because you're not in the South. You're in Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida. Read it.
Where
Florida.
you think your grits?
I made them. I had to
Where
improvise.
are you that you can't get grits?
Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right.
They
So
wanna give
next,
you-
next.
Now, hold on. We had someone who was given homework, and we're going to find out if they actually followed through with their homework.
Jacob,
I have Mike DeRoche, who had a job to do. Mike, who had an assignment. Mike, what'd you have for dinner tonight, brother?
Oh boy,
Crown Royal.
there's a change of plans tonight for dinner.
There's what?
Was it
Change
brisket?
of plans.
Okay.
We
What'd you
had,
have?
we had Greek food, Harry.
Mike, you're my new hero. Rick,
I-
just shut everybody out.
I refuse to clap because he still doesn't know what a brisket is, and he was given
He
an
doesn't.
assignment.
Come on, let the guy talk. This is important. What did you eat?
We had Greek chicken souvlaki
Oh,
with
okay.
lemon potatoes and garlic yogurt dip.
Great. Two of you were
Tzatziki
happy.
sauce.
The rest of us know what real food is.
Harry,
Hey,
Harry,
Opa.
you're on the Gulf of Mexico, not in the Mediterranean, dude.
Thank you.
I think.
Harry, you can always just
What's
say,
with all the
"Hey,
hate on
what
the
do you have
Greek
for dinner?"
people? They're
Greek
good,
food.
hardworking people.
Harry, that was my first time having Greek food. It was great.
Good. Congratulations.
I
Pretty good,
think.
pretty
I
good.
think the next, however long of the show, should just be us saying things that we may or may not believe in order to get Harry angry, because that was a lot of fun. All right, I'll start. Number one. I think that Mitch Trubisky should be a Pro Bowler this year. Number two. Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Oh my god.
Hang on. Jamie,
Top
These
five,
guys-
Jacob. Top five.
They're torturing me about Nick Foles should be in the Pro Bowl.
Oh my God.
Oh no, that they should be a top 10 quarterback, and then it's coming from a cute little kid from New Jersey. My wife's from Jersey, so she's gonna go up there and kick your ass.
What part of Jersey?
What part of Jersey are you in? She wants to know.
I'm in North Jersey,
Where?
Bergen County.
You realize
that's
every
that's
time
the
there's
opposite
a
of the
female
country.
on this show,
She's up in Bergen County, honey.
listen, man, every time there's a female on this show, they want to talk to Jacob.
It's the motherly instinct, man.
No. I had the Tampa Sports Bay on here, and she just wanted to talk to Jacob. It was like, what am I doing here?
Time out. Nothing can put me in a bad mood right now. There's 2 minutes to go in the game. The Baltimore Ravens just scored a touchdown. The Greek just won another nickel. Period. So everybody's right, I'm wrong. So I'd rather be wrong and win money. Understand? So Jacob, go
the
for it.
85 Bears were a bust of a Super Bowl team. None of those are my actual opinions, by the way. That was just me.
Tzatziki sauce sucks.
Harry.
Yeah, JD. I thought you were my friend, but that's okay, JD.
Harry.
Hey, Harry, I'll take
Harry, I
those.
told you Ingram was the difference, dude.
I'm sorry, JD. What'd you say?
I told you Ingram was the difference.
Yes, he was. Absolutely. That was a great pick.
Hey,
What were you saying, Mike?
Jacob lost those buck tickets now.
I know. That's that goes.
Yeah, man.
No, Jacob. I got tickets for you, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm a man of my word. Please come to Florida
I know. I believe it. I appreciate
in
it.
about
I really
2
do.
years.
Yeah.
Hey, I was late. What else? What did everybody else have to eat? What did Jacob eat? What did you eat, Rick?
You missed the show. You know what? You don't tune in, you don't get to know.
Oh, come on, man.
We've already been through this.
Johnny, it wasn't that exciting, I promise.
I'm guessing. All right, I'm going to guess what y'all had to eat.
Now that okay, here you go.
Go ahead.
I'm going to guess that Rick is lying to everybody and told him something else when he actually had a double cheeseburger.
No, I didn't lie because I said I got food from KFC and heated up leftovers.
Okay, that was close. I was close.
And my KFC was a chicken pot pie, which, by the way, if you've ever had the chicken pot pie at KFC, it's awesome.
And they wonder why they called me the professor. I got it out of him.
Hey, while we have everybody on here, I'm making a little list. And I want to start with Rick. Final score of this game coming up on Sunday.
That's what I was with. I was like 34-17. I'm
Okay. Jacob, go ahead.
that would be your Jacob.
Oh boy. I'll go 33-18.
Who, Minnesota or Tampa?
Tampa.
Okay, I already know that my buddy over there on the right wants to go Minnesota 500 passing yards. Now, who do you like, Chuck?
Kirk
Chuck,
Cousins, Hall of Fame.
Look, I'm cautious. I think the Bucs will win because they should, but I think it's going to be closer than everyone else. I think it's going to be 31-20.
The Steelers should have beat the
31-20.
Washington football team last night, but that was
Yeah,
I mean,
should have. Okay,
man,
Mike, my Canadian friend. Mike, my Canadian friend. Who do we who do you got?
28-10 Buccaneers.
Okay, that's getting a little more feasible.
Harry,
And hold on. Yes.
I want we want your score.
Okay. And my former friend, Mr. Professor.
You're not going to like mine, man. So you might as well not even write it down because I'm going.
No,
with
seriously, I want it.
The Buccaneers are going to put a 40 burger up.
40 to what?
40-28.
28. With 500 yards passing for Cousins?
With 500 yards passing for Cousins the other way.
Kirk Cousins is going to be awesome. It's the only time you'll ever hear this sentence is is when they're playing against the Buccaneers, and only Buccaneers fans will say it.
He's the worst quarterback ever.
I just think it's amazing. If you talk to a Minnesota Vikings fan right now, they're going to go, "Oh man, Cousins is going to suck." You talk to a Bucs fan, and it's like, "Oh man, you got to watch out for Kirk Cousins."
Does he won a playoff game, that guy?
yeah. Wasn't that was that not the? He won one. He won one in Washington.
Yeah, it was his first one that he he won one last year. It was his first one, I think.
Oh, really? Did he not win in Washington?
No, I don't think so. I think he just won his first playoff game.
Oh wow, good for him. I guess. I don't
Making
know.
$95 million. That guy is making.
The funniest thing is I couldn't care less about Kirk Cousins, like as a football player or even a person. Like he has no relevance to my life as a Minnesota Viking. I don't know. I hate overlooking teams because every time I overlook a team, like I was like, yeah, the Raiders are gonna walk in and beat us up, and then I lost probably 10 years of my life watching that Jets game on Sunday.
Hey Peter, what do you think? What's your score prediction?
I speak Peter. I speak Peter.
No, you did not say that, did you?
Anyway, I don't normally give the predictions out, but because usually I do that on a cup of Ray on Sunday morning. But this is my game of the
You can
week.
hold it. You can hold that.
No, because I
Okay.
have plenty of games this week.
Okay.
This is my game of the week. The Buccaneers are minus 6.5 points. If anybody's going to make a wager on this game, I would do it now before the line goes up. I am predicting 35-17 in this game, and I'm also going 2 different predictions on this as well. I'm going to go under 51. Even though I'm putting 35-17, I'm still going to bet the under because I don't think Minnesota's going to score more than 17.
Okay, I think that's reasonable.
And I'm also going to have a position where I'm selling my points. In gambling and straight
Well, he
wagers,
scared
we
me
can
there
buy a
after
point.
the fact that he speaks Peter. What?
I said, on straight wagers, you can buy or sell points. If you buy points, your position, the juice becomes a lot more, and that's juice, J-U-I-C-E.
Yeah, he said Jews, Jacob.
Juice, Jacob, okay? But I'm going to take the line to almost 9.5. So I'm going to get 3.5 to 1 of my money on a very small position. But all my parlays and all of my straight wagers are going to be predicated off this Buccaneer game, believe it or not.
Wow.
So I've got a question.
FYI, the people that disagree with me the most, I'm still over 82%. I didn't have a very good week last week. I went 6 out of 9, and I'll take it because I want to challenge anybody to do 6 out of 9 against the spread.
Johnny.
Yes, sir.
You first. I'm going to go around the horn here. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. But I'm going to go
after he speaks Peter.
Yeah. So Johnny, do you ever wager money or bet or like how, like when it comes to the line or the spread, do you ever wager?
I used to back in the day, but no, I haven't in 20 years.
Mike, do you?
Yeah, on hockey a lot.
No, on football.
Sometimes, yeah, once in a while.
Okay, Chuck.
I'm actually a recovering gambling addict, so I stay away from bets of all kinds.
Okay, Jacob.
Oh, Rick.
Sometimes I can't legally say that I bet anything, but I can.
You just put a 16-year-old up there.
Jacob, do you know anybody who bets on football?
Oh, my dad.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
that was good. I like that one. He bet 500 dogs last week.
Yeah, I never wager. I just don't do it. I love football. I just watch it for the football. So I was just wondering what I was sort of getting a feel for what the rest of you guys how you guys feel about that.
How about you, Rick? You gamble on football?
No, that's what I just said. No, I don't. I just watch football for football, and that's always just been fun for me.
I would say 3/4 of the hardcore football guys do get bet on the games.
3/4 of the hardcore guys. What about the general? Just people who watch.
I would say half of those because half of them are watching just because they're betting on it.
Right.
Okay.
So wait. How many of all football fans are hardcore?
Oh,
I'd say
you get 10 football fans. Is it one hardcore fan, 2, 3?
No, I'd say the general fan outnumbers the hardcore fan.
2 to
I don't
1?
even think it's close.
Yeah.
I think the general fan
I'd
way out.
Yeah.
I'd say 20 to 25% are hardcore in total.
I don't
If you're
think it's
taking
that much, but
I think 2 out of 10. I mean, It depends. It really
I wonder where
hardcore.
you are at too, because if you're in a football town,
Right.
then you got more hardcore. If you're in a, I hate to say it, but Tampa area where they're not the really hardcore Tampa fans are at, you'd get the general fans. So they're a lot.
You're gonna find more hardcore fans in Philadelphia than you are in Tampa. That's just like
Yeah.
So it all matters where you are, and it all you're right. It depends what team it is too, because you see a lot more hardcore fans for kind of those more mainstream teams than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or So that's there's that, but I think they're. But actually, okay, wait. I want to get your thoughts on this because you look at like a lot of these Cowboys fans, and most of them aren't hardcore Cowboys fans, right? Realistically, most of them aren't. I think these more mainstream teams are the ones that like the ones with the most general fans. I think if you like a random small team, I feel like you like that team more than you're pretty hardcore.
I think if you're a team like Cleveland, Philadelphia, Chicago, I think those are teams that's more of a hardcore, like a fan base. That's more traditional. That's just football going back to when Harry and I were kids.
Right here in Pittsburgh, Pittsburghers are hardcore fans.
Right, and Pittsburgh's another example. So
they travel very well, by the way. I have a couple of teams that I really root for. Of course, my Chicago Bears. I also root for the Buccaneers, and I do have one favorite team in the AFC. Yes, Jacob, they are the New York Jets.
I think we are all a little bit.
Jacob just got one bright spot in this lost season.
He put the Joe Namath glasses on. Check him out.
The one bright spot at the end of this year better be number 16 on Clemson, because that's I need him on the roster. I just need him on the roster.
What are you going to do when he decides to? I don't want to go there.
He's not going to. I promise you, he won't. You're missing out on the number. You're like, okay.
What
are you
going
to trade him?
Heard of it has been done before.
It has, but Eli Manning left. He didn't want to play in San Diego. I think Eli Manning didn't want to play in San Diego. He wanted to come to New York. If there's any market that's even close to where San Diego was at that time, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think if anything, he would want to come play for New York, because there is, if you're looking at the top 3 teams that are going to draft a quarterback next year in the top 10, who's it going to be? It's the Jets, the Jaguars, and who? The Eagles, maybe?
Bears.
The Bears.
The Eagles just drafted Jalen Hurts. They have no idea what they have.
We'll see. Right. Well, we'll see where they are at the end of the season.
What was that, Chuck?
But would you rather play for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now or the New York Jets right now?
Jaguars.
At the end of this year, really, with a new head coach in New York, second most cap space in the league.
How many new head coaches have you had? I've seen this story play out 1,000 times, man.
If you're Trevor Lawrence, so you kind of get to pick your own head coach if you're talking to the GM and you're the number 1 pick. And Jacksonville, I'm not even sure they're going to.
Jacob, you think they're going to wait until after the draft to hire a head coach?
No, but I think they're going to give a call to Trevor Lawrence and be like,
"Listen, I think he's right about this."
I think you're going to say, "Listen, who do you want?" Because you're not going to listen. The reason why the Jets have had such the Adam Gase hire was purely because of Mike McKay.
They're going to wait till the draft before they hire a head coach?
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, listen, everybody, listen. This makes sense. What Jacob is saying,
it really doesn't
makes sense. He's saying basically you're just going to have, look, what's going to happen is the Jets are going to call. They're not going to pick up the phone and call Trevor Lawrence. They're going to pick up the phone and call Trevor Lawrence's agent. And they're going to say, "Okay, guys, look, we what is it that we need to do here? What's going to make you happy? What's going to get you on board?" And I think that's what's going to happen. Listen, whether you like it or not, the Jets are in New York. This is a marketing boom for them that they're about to walk into.
Stop thinking about marketing. Start thinking about playing football.
Well, I understand that, but they're walking into a marketing boom. And the way that you're going to do that is keep your quarterback happy. This new superstar, young, this guy. Look, nobody's come out of college. Maybe Joe Burrow, Nobody's come out with bigger hype and expectations than what you're about to see.
Oh, we did see this with Andrew Luck.
Yeah. Do you think Trevor Lawrence knows he's good? Yes. Trevor Lawrence knows he's good at football. Trevor Lawrence knows that he can win in the NFL, obviously.
Every single player in football knows they're good, whether they are or not.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence can come into the NFL and make an immediate impact? Do you think that he thinks that?
I don't think Roberto Aguayo knew he was good.
And hold on there. An immediate impact without the team surrounding him, without the right head coach? No.
The Jets are in a much better position than you think they are. That's the 0-16 is purely
dear God, why can Buccaneers fans not learn from this guy?
Listen,
but here's the thing: it's an inverse relationship with Bucs fans, because you see, we, much like Jacob, when we're like 4-12, we're like, no, we've got them right where we want them. But then when we get a winning record, 7-5, we're like, no, we suck. Don't believe it.
This is what I said.
Focus.
Yeah, this is what I said. Is you know how they always say, well, this team needs to learn how to win. So do the fans.
Listen, I'm not even talking about the fans and stuff. I'm talking about the absurdity of hiring a head coach based on what a rookie draft pick is going to want.
No, it's not purely because of what Trevor Lawrence wants. I'm saying that if the Jaguars don't even know if they're going to fire their coach yet. It's not. This is the con. This is Tony Khan. This is Tony Khan. This is Tony Khan. They're in Jacksonville. The Jacksonville market is so small. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars in the next decade aren't going to be in Jacksonville anymore, and I think I think you can bet on that they're not going to be in Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacob. Say bet.
That's not even a secret, man.
Jacob, what is the largest metropolitan? When you look at like square mileage, what's the biggest city in the United States?
The
biggest
metropolitan area is Jacksonville.
It's Jacksonville.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. The largest county, and it's the city.
What a weird stat.
I know. That's why I threw it out there. It was like
That's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest
I actually thought that was Tallahassee, but it might be Jacksonville.
Just to let everybody know, I'm feeling a lot better after that little tirade. And if you guys are ever feeling like that, I can just tell you what cured me. It wasn't the Captain Morgan. It was the 3 Josh Rosens and the 2 Hail Marys, and I'm perfect.
Hey, I see Megatron walking behind you there.
Oh,
there it is.
I just think
we're back to Josh Rosen again.
I said my 3 Josh Rosens and my 2 Hail Marys, and I feel better.
Chuck,
and I'm back.
I'm sorry you have to hear this. I'm really embarrassed about the quality of this programming, but we have people who like the 4th string quarterback on the team and think he's the future of the franchise.
This has been some of the most stimulating football talk that I have participated in the entire calendar year. So thank you to everyone involved here.
Well, Chuck, you are welcome to come back anytime. Okay. Here's the deal, guys. This is a 2-hour show. We're at 2 hours and 11 minutes. So I'm going to start going. Johnny, is there anything you want to do to say goodbye?
No, other than good job. Great show, guys.
Yeah, great
All right,
show.
have a great one.
Later, guys.
Oh.
Mike,
Great
anything
show.
you want to add?
No, not much. Just go Bucks and let's get them.
Mike, Thursday night, I'm back on here.
Thursday?
Are you going to have brisket by then?
Pressure. We'll see. That's
a no.
Thanks, Jacob.
You're out of here. I'm just booting him. All right. Jacob, you've been on here. You were the first one I brought on. Let's go to you next.
All right. Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, if you want to go find me, I guess you could go Hard Count Football. That's on YouTube and SoundCloud under that name. It's just a lot of fun stuff during the season, and look forward to the offseason. The offseason is going to be a lot of fun. And then the Hard Count Football podcast live, which is Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel. Go follow me on Twitter at Jacob Chardo, Instagram at Hard Count Football, and now on TikTok at Hard Count Football. TikTok's a new thing that I'm trying out that I'm trying to post on. So that's always fun because people get heated about football on TikTok and they're never right about anything. So that's yeah, go check me out everywhere. I don't know. I post a lot of fun football stuff.
Jacob.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to teach me how the heck to use TikTok when it comes to
Man,
football.
I'm still learning. I am still learning.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Of course, man. It's always a lot of fun. Thanks.
Have a good one.
See you guys.
All right, Chuck. You wanna tell everybody where to find
I'll
you?
just say this because Harry, I feel like I have a direct line to you now. The only reason that I have extolled the virtues of what Kirk Cousins can do on a football field, and again, big asterisk here. I get that he sucks at football. The Buccaneers have made several nondescript quarterbacks look really, really good this year on defense. I believe that there is talent on this Bucs defense to be able to do what they need to do. They need to put it together. Hopefully over the bye week, they'll accomplish that. Hopefully they'll be able to come in and show the world what they can really be these last 4 games against negligible opponents. But as a guy that's watched plenty of Bucs football over the last 20 years and watched them squander all these opportunities, I'll believe it when I see it. I am optimistic. I am a Bucs fan. I've grown up with it. I believe in this team. I want this team to be what it can be. And until they show me, I believe that Kirk Cousins can drive another stake into our hearts. I look forward to talking to you guys again. And Harry, I hope all your bets pay out.
And you
Hey,
gotta
I
hear this.
appreciate that. Don't let Chuck go.
You gotta
Chuck,
hear
and
this.
also-
Hold on. You gotta see this quote, guys, before Chuck goes. Tim Witherspoon, the quote of the night. Mike DeRoche, no risk
No
it,
biscuit,
no brisket.
no brisket.
Anyway,
Okay,
Chuck, to
go
follow
ahead.
up with what you were saying, I love your cautious optimism. Seriously, and I get it, okay? Because being a Bear fan was very much like being a Bucs fan for many, many, many years. And I could be a little bit more critical when I'm talking about the Bears because I can see exactly what's going on, and I get it. And I've been around since 1979 here in Florida, but I have dual residency between here and Chicago. So I really, really love your knowledge of the game. Yes, Kirk Cousins can be dangerous. However, it's not really happening this week. They don't have that offensive line. So what I want you to do is just try to make yourself feel a little bit better that I'm not really seeing that much of a difficult time for Tampa in this football game. I don't respect the running game because Tampa's defense is going to be a lot better than what they're going to be able to block. And Kirk Cousins doesn't really bother me that much this year because truly he hasn't beaten anybody with his arm at all. And he's quietly having a very miserable year. And I understand they've won, I think, 4 of their last 5 games. But I
5 and
honestly,
6.
5 out of 6. This is their playoff game, and they're going to come out swinging hard. All Tampa has to do in this game defensively is just withstand that first drive or two. After that,
Exactly.
it's game over. It's game over in this game. But
Yeah,
seriously,
absolutely.
Chuck, I've only met you a couple times online here. Your knowledge of football is mind-boggling. Hats off to you. And I really like that. Was all show with me. I don't normally get like that, but yes, it was the first time that someone in 25
Never
years has put
ruin
me
it
on
by
tilt.
telling people it was a show.
No, I have to say that because it's just not my personality. I never
Chuck.
go on tilt.
All right, Chuck. Where do people find you?
I'm on Twitter at DJ Chuck Von Shell. But other than that, I keep a pretty low profile. I do help co-host a podcast with Liam Mitchell on the same network here, Bucks Report. So feel free to check in on that. Liam Mitchell's awesome. He does a whole bunch of vintage Bucks game rewinds. So look for him as well. And I look forward to chatting with you guys again in the near future. So.
Thanks, Chuck. We will be here Thursday night. You are welcome anytime you would like.
God bless, guys. Take care.
Have a good one.
Yeah, be blessed, my brother.
All right. All right, Harry. Tell anybody where to find you.
This weekend, Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, I will be co-hosting on Cup of Ray with Tampa Bay Ray, where he's going to talk about the fourth quarter of the year. It's going to be a great show. The second half of the show, we're going to be talking about all the games in the National Football League and breaking down the Buccaneer game, and they're going to get my game fix of the week. But that's coming up on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock on a Cup of Ray or whatever other show that I'll be on this week. Trust me, and I'll be on your show this Thursday, Mr. Hughes.
Awesome. And I'm going to tell you that despite Chuck's big asterisk, I don't care about anybody's big asterisk. When you get a reaction like that out of Harry the Greek,
It's unusual.
It's all worthwhile. You have a good night, Harry.
Deuces, my brother. You take care.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. This was a fun show. I had a lot of fun tonight. I really, really did. Thank you for tuning in. You are in What's Cooking in the South. Let's have a great night. Thursday night, we'll see you at 9 o'clock. And as always, guys, go Bucks.